Hey everybody, it's Bill from Matt-Trakker.com and welcome to this episode of Behind the Mask. Before we get started, I believe there's a subscribe button somewhere down here. If you click on that, you'll be alerted when we post new videos. It's not just me doing it. You have Darcy, Lisa, David, Brian, and soon Cliff, all creating mask content. Hopefully you're enjoying it. If you want to help the channel even further, there's a join button for a monthly donation. You get a little icon next to your name and a producer credit in the end credits of each episode moving forward. And our merch store has a couple new designs if you want to check that out as well. Link will be in the description. Now, today we're talking about Scott and T-Bob, the toy. Well, it isn't, it's not really what you would classify as, one of the best vehicles out of the toy line, but technically, I guess you could consider it one. It did come in a box, which you'll see here. So I magically hold my hand up and the box appears. I know Cliff has one, and I've seen a couple around. I believe that these were limited in their production. I don't know why. I don't have an actual answer for it. But the ones you might be used to seeing are more along the lines of the ones inside of, the blister packs. Mine's open. Well, mostly open. The card and the bubble are still together, but you can take the figures out if you wanted to. I have it in the plastic here because it displays nice up there. So Scott and T-Bob would be in one of these sets here. And this was purchased from a store called Woolworth. I remember that store. It looks like it's $3.99. So that was probably on par with the newer ones when you get the 2-packs. But this was a little bit different because this gave you the vehicle to make you feel more part of the cartoon. Scott, in the cartoon, you were supposed to have like a connection with him. You were supposed to feel like you were on those adventures. And I never really got that when I was a kid. It's a clever marketing ploy. And to be honest, I think that would be something that really probably drew in a lot of interest from us. While we might not have really liked Scott for the most part as a character then and now, if you're thinking about a driving force, you're thinking about tying your home life to this cartoon, that was your portal. You could picture yourself being Scott, being on those adventures, flying out of the back of Firecracker and almost getting Hondo killed. That was you. Hope you're proud of yourself. I know I've been hard on T-Bob over time, and there's an agent review just on T-Bob itself. Link will be in the description as well if you want to check that out. T-Bob's not my least favorite character. It's not my least favorite vehicle either. My least favorite vehicle is still Billboard Blast, and my least favorite character is Scott. If M.a.s.k were to come back today, Scott, if he was involved, it wouldn't be as a 10-year-old kid as a plot device like the Spectrum mask. It would be as somebody older, like in the M.a.s.k 85, 86 comics that Kerouac did. So the character kind of lives and dies in this universe itself. I don't ever see it at this type of character ever coming back. So the figure of Scott, I have it in my hand here, but I'll hold it up on the screen here. There's so many things that could have been done with this figure to actually get it to look cartoon accurate. All you needed was a little bit of yellow on the figure, and that was it, really. The figure does what it does. It takes you, puts you into the action. you're pretending you're Scott. Sorry, girls, if you there was no character for you to do that, not until series 3 with Vanessa. And even then, I don't know if that was able to pull you in to make you feel like you were part of the action. But again, no girls allowed, I guess, for a couple of years with m.a.s.k. And I'm saying that in a joking manner because everybody knows my position on that already. So figure scale wise, I'm looking at it here compared to Matt, and you'll see it on the screen here too. It works kind of. I feel like he might be a little too big, but then again, how much more would you get with this figure until you ended up losing it? And T-Bob, the figure itself, I feel is a little too large as well. But I don't know, at the time, I don't know how you really would have gotten the full transformation on T-Bob without it being as big as it is. Now, there was an interesting Facebook post that I saw not too long ago, and I shared it on the Facebook page of somebody's building a fully transforming T-Bob, and that's fantastic. I hope it has some light at the end of the tunnel, and maybe you can get it to the scaling once. But no, it's a fine addition. It doesn't hurt your collection, but it just kind of, it feels out of place because you're looking at all the characters side by side. At least I do with my figure shelf here. And I look at it and I just see this giant white robot next to, Scott. And I don't know. It's just, there's something off with the scaling on these. Quality wise, T-Bob, I mean, if you're talking about something with minimal aspect of transformation and just detail, I think they actually landed T-Bob pretty well. It would have been great if he actually had legs, like the custom one I have here. But again, it's 1985, and this isn't Transformers. Maybe if this was a little bit bigger, you would have gotten some out of it where you had that technology, but that's all you really had. But here he is, riding along. It's just, scaling is just off on it. I don't know. It's always thrown me off. With a T-Bob figure, the arms would jam a lot. You would get that. There was no really good way of fixing it because if you took the head off, I don't think there was really getting it back on. The metal on it, if you are cleaning these at all, like if you get a new, not a new one, but if you get one in, it's a little dirty, make sure you dry it off well because this metal does rust pretty quick. I have another one here. This one here is actually my original. And I played with this thing in the pool and the bathtub and the sink and probably the ocean too. So I don't know how he's still around, but he is. So yes, technically I have 4 T-Bobs. It's a lot of T-Bob. And 2 Scotts. So let's look at the scaling here real quick on the custom. This makes more sense. T-Bob is about that height in the cartoon. And here, this makes more sense. T-Bob is about that height in the cartoon comparative. I don't know. What do you think of the scaling on this? Does it throw you off like it does me a little bit? What are your thoughts on Scott too? Because again, I don't think he'll ever make a comeback in any sort of shape or form unless they just do a complete rehash of all the figures and the way they are now, just like a classic set, if they're not redone or made in those 6-inch form or something. I don't think you're ever going to see another Scott figure, because this day and age, that element of this tie-in to take you from sofa to toy to cartoon and wherever else you're going with it doesn't really exist anymore. So you're not going to have that. You're not going to have this direct tie. Did it draw you in the way it drew others in? Again, I didn't really get that, but I know that was the whole gimmick behind it. Price point wise, so this is where it's really gonna vary here. The in the box one, I've seen it for $50, upwards of 200. And worth is what you're gonna pay, right? So they don't pop up often. So if you see one, you want to add one to your collection, I would try to get it, because I'm probably going to compete with you on that, because I don't have a box one. I have the carded one. So I'm always on the lookout for that. So don't outbid me. Carded, you're going to be around $100. Loose, I would say 25 for the pair, roughly, give or take. The one good part I will say about T-Bob is that he doesn't yellow like Stiletto does. So whatever plastic they use on him, you don't really have that as bad as Stiletto, or if you had a Super Nintendo, same thing. So that's also a plus. But again, remember, if you're cleaning it, make sure you get it really dry. You don't want to have any rust on that, because it will rust pretty quick. And if you're a customizer or just a painter in general, and if you want to make something cartoon accurate, a little yellow goes a long way here. Right there. So I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. If you have any questions about Scott or T-Bob, let me know. And as always, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe to help keep M.a.s.K alive. And this is Bill from Matt-Trakker.com, and I'll talk to you later. Spectrum's got such supervision.